Okay guys, today's video is going to be about testing a set of new wheels for the back of the SS. You know, I'm making 553 horsepower now, and I've got these skinny 285 19s on there, and I just don't think that that setup's going to do real well if I ever go to the drag strip. So I've been looking into affordable drag radials that fit the Brembo brakes that won't be like $1,500 for a set of welds or something like that, or some custom one-off wheel. So did a lot of research on the G8 guys, and the G8 guys actually like to run a set of C6 Z06 front wheels. Now those front wheels are 17 by 9.5, and if I had kept the standard SS brakes, the 14 SS brakes, those single piston rear PBRs instead of the Brembos, I actually could have fit those. The Z06 wheels, front Z06 wheels, will fit from the C5 on the with the standard brakes, but since I upgraded to the Brembo rear brakes, I won't be able to fit those front 17 by 9.5s in the back, which kind of sucks because those C5 front Z06 wheels actually will bolt onto the back of the Corvette. And a lot of guys run like a 305 to 353, I think it was about a 305 to 315 drag radial on the back. So with since the fronts won't work, people swap the C5 rear wheel onto the back of the G8 and the SS. And I guess the CTS-V as well in the Camaro. So those are an 18 by 10.5. And those will fit, but with the Corvette you need like a 5mm spacer, because the Corvettes, you know, the wheels are, they're only like a 53mm offset in the back, and I think, you know, the G8 and SS wheels, I think they're all like 58 or something like that. So they're, you know, those rear wheels are pushed way out. So those will fit with a small spacer, but I really don't want to run, you know, a spacer on the back on a drag wheel. So the other alternative that I saw was people were running C6 Z Spider wheels. Spider was just another design for the Z06 wheels. You could get them for like a few years. They weren't the standard wheels, they were a different design, but those wheels are the same dimension as the Corvette Z06 front, because they were sitting on a Z06. So what do I have? I happen to have a C6 Z06 front wheel. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to test by taking the Z06 front wheel off the Corvette, put it on the back of the SS. This shouldn't take too long, and we'll see if it fits. Now I'm running a 275/45 up here. I'm sorry, it's a 275/35, so 18. So it's an inch smaller diameter than what's on there now, and it's a 275 versus a 285. So dimensions are a little bit different, but with it being a 18 by 9.5 inch wheel up front, should be able to fit at least a 305, a 295 to 305 width rear tire on here. So, and you know, I looked at like Nitto makes a drag radial, Mickey Thompson makes several drag radials, so shouldn't have run into too much issue with fitting a tire, you know, a drag radial. It's just, I kind of want to make sure that that wheel will bolt onto the SS. I know it'll bolt on. I just want to make sure that I'll have enough room to fit, you know, a 305 on there. So I'm gonna have to take some measurements. So this is just a mock-up, like I said. You know, if the wheel fits, I'm gonna have to order, you know, 2 more front Z06 wheels and make sure they fit. And also, I want to make sure that they're gonna fit on the rear of the Z06. They should. I mean, it's a Corvette, there's no bolt pattern issues there, so they should fit. That wheel should fit on the back of the car. It's just the offset's gonna be way different, because I think that's a 40mm offset, and the back is like 53 or 58 or something like that. So, but So this test will be just make sure it fits on the SS first, then I'll check the rear of the Z06. You know, check if it fits on the rear Z06, and we'll go from there. Okay guys, as you can see, I have the Z06 front wheel. This is a GM Speedline wheel made in Italy. So it's not a replica, it's an actual GM wheel. It's bolted onto the back, and there's a ton of wheel gap, I know. I literally just got the car off the jack stand, or off the floor jack, but wheel bolted on, no problem. And you know, I'm reaching in here, it's not hitting anything. The brake line's fine. It looked like people were worrying about the brake line. I'm really nowhere near it. I probably got 2 inches on the brake line. The e-brake cables, I think we're fine, yeah. So like I said, everything clears. Mind you, this is only a 275 tire on the back, but I think you can fit up to at least a 295 minimum. I think I saw some guys running a 305 on the back. So I'll be able to have a set of drag radials with a lightweight wheel in an 18 for real cheap. So like I said earlier, I knew the spiders fit on the back of the G8. I figured they'd fit on the back of this car too. And actually, I saw this swap on the CTS-V forum. I was doing some research for like cheap Corvette wheels, you know, stuff like that, and I happened to see a guy actually swap a chrome set of spiders on a CTS-V, and actually those fit in with the CTS-V wheel. The design is a little bit more close, but these, I really want these for 2 cars. So I figured, well, they're stock on one car, and they don't. It's not a terrible mismatch. You know, it's a split 5-spoke, 10-spoke. I call it a 5-spoke, you know, because it's a star pattern, 5-star pattern. But yeah, so it's got split 5-spoke. This is a split 5-spoke. You know, the CTS-Vs are just a little bit wider than the Corvette design. But like I was saying, I'm buying these my cheap drag pack for 2 cars. Might as well have match the 1 car, and it's cool that they fit on this car. I wasn't entirely sure that they would, but I was pretty comfortable that they would. And this car is on jack stand. I removed the front wheel. Now for the SS, honestly, I just put the car up with the floor jack, got it up in the air, swapped the wheel, put the wheel back on. I mean, I wasn't under the car at all, and this is a 3-ton jack. Yeah, it's a 3-ton jack, and that's more than the weight of the SS combined, so I'm not too worried about it. But you know, the Corvette, it's gonna be on the wheel. Taking the wheel off, I knew it'd be off for a while, so I did take that off. But anyway, so I did back the car up. I backed it up to it's in front of the Lexus and pulled it forward, so it settled a little bit, but I don't see, still a huge wheel gap. The only other thing you really need to be worried about with this swap is the lower control arm. And I've probably got an inch. Yeah, where's the wheel? Wheel's there. I mean, I've probably got 2 fingers, so that's like what, inch and a half here up front, or in the back of the control arm. And the front, oh hell, I've got 3 or 4 fingers. So I can see why people that were running the C6 Z had to put wheel spacers on it, because these 18s are fairly narrow. But brake clears, lower control arm clears. The e-brake cables, I didn't see any issue with that. Now if I lowered the car, you know, lowering the ride, this is stock ride height. It's on the stock McPherson strut set up in the front, and it's not a coilover, but it's like a coil assisted shock in the back. So that fits. Now some people may be concerned about running the Corvette spacer, the Corvette size on a 5x120, because the Corvettes are 5 by 4 3/4. You know, when you convert that to millimeters, that converts out to like 5 by 120.6 point, you know, 5. It's a little bit more than 5 by 120. So it's like 5 by 120.6. It's a fraction of an inch. I've seen plenty of people running, you know, Corvette-sized wheels on the Camaro, the Zeta chassis to the Camaro, the SS, the G8, as well as people running these wheels on the CTS-V, and I haven't seen any horror stories of the wheels falling off or anything like that. So, but I mean, if that's a concern, you could always get, you know, a spacer and all that. But if I'm running these at the drag strip, I'm gonna be swapping wheels. I won't be driving home on these. I mean, for limited track use, I don't see that being an issue. And these tighten right up with no issue. I put the center cap on just to cover it up, but you know. So the center hub bore is fine. They bolted right on. They tighten down. Now I haven't torqued these, but I use my impacts, and I think that impact's like a 300 foot-pound impact, and I didn't tighten all the way, but tighten enough to where the wheel's not going to fall off, you know, just for this demo. But I think these wheels are going to look pretty damn cool. Now, like I said, tire width may be a concern. Like I said, I'm only got 275s on here now, and I've got plenty of room up front. So I mean, I've got three. The tightest spot right here is in the upper part of the driver's side, and I mean, I'm at 3 fingers. So I mean, that's at least an inch, maybe inch and a half, 2 inches of clearance. So as for tire sizes, a 275 definitely fits. 285 fits. 295 will probably fit. The 305 will probably take up a good of that 2-inch gap, but I'll see. I need to do a little bit more research on what tires to get, but it's cool that, you know, I can have one set of drag radials, one set of tires, and use it on 2 cars. So that's kind of the plan. I don't plan on doing a lot of drag racing, but you know, if I do, I can get a pretty cheap and cost-effective setup. Now, prices. I've seen these wheels go for as little as like $150. Actually, hell, the wheel that I have on here, I got for $100. You know, so I've seen these wheels go for as little as $100. I've seen them go as expensive as $400. That's, at least that was my online searching last night. So fairly effective, cost effective. You know, when you see these people, these weld wheels being $2,500, I mean, that's over $1,250 a wheel. Yeah, one wheel, and I can get one wheel for say $150. So I think this would be a pretty cost-effective drag pack, rear drag pack. I'm not dicking around with the fronts. I've seen people put the CTS-V 18-inch skinnies on here. I'm not that kind of drag racer. You know, I'm not all hardcore about drag racing, but you know, for cost-effective, smaller diameter wheel that'll fit the Corvette and the SS for say $300 for the wheels and say $600 in tires. I mean, you're looking at what, $750 total? I mean, that's not bad. Actually, I'm not sure about the tire prices. I'll have to look those more up, but you know, like $300 for just the wheels themselves, that's not bad at all. So, but that's it for the SS. Let's go swap this front wheel onto the back of the Corvette and see if it fits. Okay guys, as you can see, I have the SS back on stock wheels. I still need to torque the rear wheel, but that's no big deal. So I had no issues putting the C6 Z front wheel on the back of the SS. And over here you can see I have the Corvette jacked up. There's a jack stand under the front and under the subframe. And as you can see, we got the front wheel missing. Well, that's because it's back here. I always thought the front wheel would bolt onto the back. I just wasn't sure of the offset. So here is the front 18 by 9.5 wheel on the back. It clears the brakes no problem. There's no rubbing, anything like that with the spokes on this rear PBR 4-piston caliper. So I've got plenty of room with the 275 tire. I've got a good 2 or 3 inches to the inner fender liner. I mean, hell, I can stick 345s in the back here, so 275 is not going to run anything. Now the fender doesn't look like it's going to have any problem. I mean, I've got a good 4 fingers between the tire and the fender itself, but as you guys can see, the car is kind of jacked up in the air and suspension's kind of sitting funny. I don't have another front wheel to put on the front, so I couldn't tell you for sure if there's gonna be any clearance issues with like a bigger tire, you know, with depth wise with the tire sticking out. There shouldn't be. And heck, yeah, honestly, if I had a problem, I always could just put the car in the lift and readjust the lower the rear coilovers, because I've got them slammed right now. And with the 345, I probably got a inch, 3/4 inch clearance between the fender and the tire. So with a 305, I don't think it would be too crazy. So just wanted to prove to you guys that, you know, you can buy one drag pack for 2 cars. So a C6 Z Speedline factory wheel will fit both the Corvette and the SS with no issue, no spacers, nothing like that. Since I've got the Corvette here, you know, I had the wheel. All it took was like 5 minutes of, okay, maybe 10 minutes of jacking the car up, putting a stand under it, and swapping over the front wheel to the back of the SS, and then swapping over the front wheel to the back of this car. You know, you can have a very affordable drag pack, if you want to call it that, of using lightweight OEM wheels and not having really any rubbing or clearance issues. That's going to be a wrap for fitting Corvette front wheels, front C6 Z wheels. They're 18 by 9.5. They're the 5 by 120.6 whatever in millimeter, or they're 5 by 4 3/4. So that's the dimensions on the wheels. They bolt on, no problem, and I'll post another video when I actually get the wheels I'm going to go with and the tires and all that. So I just wanted to give you guys a relatively affordable drag pack set for your Corvette and your SS or G8. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to like it, and if you haven't already, please subscribe.